Am I the a-hole? I'm a double affair baby who was rejected by both sets of siblings, so I say I'm an only child? I'm 25 male, a double affair baby, meaning my mom and dad were both married to other people, cheated on their spouses, and conceived me. They ended up marrying each other after their divorces were finalized, and they raised me together. Their kids from their first marriages did not accept me and do not claim me as a sibling. I always felt their hostility when I was a kid. They were all moved out by the time I was 9, and I saw them a handful of times after that. The last being 7 years ago, and during those few times, they were very clear about not wanting to talk to me, and how I was not their brother or their family. I mean, one even told me the world would be a better place if I'd never been born, or if I had died. Because of all this, I claim I'm an only child when people ask. I never say I have siblings, half or otherwise. That's just my preference, and I find it easier. Plus, I only have siblings through genetics, not through a bond or anything else. I'm pretty sure they would all leave me for dead on the side of the road if the chance ever occurred. This became a topic because I'm engaged to the cousin of a former childhood friend. He and I were friends most of our lives until we hit junior year and he turned into a real jerk, and our friendship ended. My fiancé and I met years later. She knows my background, and she said she would also consider me an only child. So she has zero issues. She also has issues with her cousin. I didn't even realize they were related until a while later. But in the last couple of months, he's appeared at a couple of family parties and brought up the fact I claim the only child label. He never had an issue with it before, but now he says I'm being childish and a liar by claiming that I am. Then I have a few relatives, not my parents, I'm no contact with them, who get upset when they realize I don't claim my siblings. We've discussed how, if they don't claim me or count me when talking about the siblings they have, then I won't count them either. These family members tell me that things could change, and I could avoid awkwardness by letting people know. So if I have a relationship with any of them in the future, I won't end up with egg on my face. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Tell everyone to buzz off and mind the business that pays them. You are a 25-year-old grown man and don't want or need them to tell you who you are. Not the a-hole. I really wish sometimes that people like the relatives would stop treating life like it's a TV show. They didn't want anything to do with OP for 25 years. They won't suddenly come running with tears in their eyes, proclaiming their siblings' love and running into the sunset. If they do, it's most likely when they are on their deathbed and get that "what if heaven is real" doubt and suddenly want to clear their conscience. And that's still a stretch. It's honestly hurtful to keep saying to someone, they will love you someday, just wait. Good grief. Of course, you know the actions of your parents are absolutely no fault of yours. Live your life and add anyone who gives you grief to the block list. Congratulations and best wishes. Not the a-hole. You'd never think it from their other kids' reactions to me. A part of me gets it, but they were more civil to the cheating parent we shared than to me, which is where I feel like it's extra crappy. At least hate them just as much or more. Not the a-hole. Blaming you for your mother and father's love is evil. You did nothing wrong and your siblings has treated you terribly. I totally understand your need to protect yourself by claiming you're a lonely child. I'm curious, though, how much energy you use on pretending this and if it could be better for yourself to just open up and tell the real story when asked. Maybe start open up with your mother and father? I'm no contact with my parents. They've failed me hugely over the years, and it's way easier to say only child than to have people pity me or dig into the reasons more. Next story. Am I the a-hole for resenting my parents for having me as a bringing the family together baby and putting so much on me before I was even born? My parents met after their first spouses died. My mom was 2 years out from her first husband dying, and my dad was maybe 3 years out from his wife dying. It might have been closer to 4. I feel like I heard both. Anyway, they both had kids from their first marriages. My mom had 2 kids who were 6 and 7 when she met my dad, and my dad had a 9-year-old when he met my mom. They dated for like 2 years before they got married. Their kids never liked it. They never got close. Extended family mentioned how fractured things were even before they lived together, and how it got worse when they all moved into the same house. So about a year into their marriage, my parents decided they would have a kid to bring the family together, and that's where I, 17 male, come into the equation. Before I was even born, my parents had this idea that everyone would bond over me and I would be loved, and it would be great. But it wasn't great. Nobody bonded over me except maybe the two of them, and even then, I think they were bonded just fine before. My half-siblings never wanted a half-sibling. They never wanted their parent to have a baby with someone who wasn't their dead parent. I was not a welcome member of the family, and I have felt that dislike for as long as I can remember. My half-siblings totally resented my existence, and eventually my parents did too. It was subtle at times, but they used to tell me I had a job to do, and that was to reach out to my half-siblings. If I mentioned how unhappy it made me to be rejected, they'd say I was supposed to keep trying anyway, and that was the whole point. After finding out they had me to bring everyone together, I realized it was their way of saying that was the point of me being alive. Other ways it showed was when I didn't get something 100% right, and they'd ask me if I could ever do what I was supposed to. The older I get, the more it becomes an issue. 2 of my half-siblings got married in the last 2 years, and I wasn't even invited to either wedding. One of my half-siblings has at least 2 kids now too, and I've never met them. My parents encouraged me to send gifts and reach out and try to be involved, but my half-siblings shut that down. Another messed up thing they did, in an effort for me to be the unifying baby, or whatever you'd call it, is they named me after their dead spouses. I have the boy version of Dad's first wife's name as my first name, and my middle name is a variant of Mom's first husband's name. That has sucked on multiple different levels, and apparently, my half-siblings blew every fuse when they heard my name the first time. My parents typically call me by both names in some double-barrel type of way. Their families tried to convince them to name me something different, but they said it was symbolic. The only thing it symbolizes is the equal disinterest from my 3 half-siblings. The other day, my parents were being pissy because I didn't call to wish one of the halves a happy birthday, and they were being really annoying about it. I told them they sucked as parents. I said they never should have put so much on me or had me for such a dumb reason, and the messed up part was they resented me too. I admitted to resenting them for those choices, and my parents got mad and said it's such a normal thing to do, and I had no reason to resent them or blame them for any of this. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your parents put an unfair burden on you before you were even born, expecting you to fix a broken family. That was never your responsibility. Naming you after their late spouses made things worse, and their resentment toward you is deeply unfair. You have every right to be angry and set boundaries. The name thing has been such a curse instead of whatever they thought it would be. It's just more ways I never got to be my own person. I was a person with a reason from day one, but not even a realistic one. Absolutely not the a-hole. You were brought into this world with an unfair burden placed on you, and that's not your fault. It was never your job to fix a fractured family, and it's heartbreaking that your parents made you feel like that was your entire purpose. You have every right to feel the way you do, and honestly, they owe you a massive apology for the way they treated you. It's such a weird place to be in too. I feel like little kids might go along with the requests to always try because they love and trust their parents, and it might make them ignore boundaries easier. So what my parents expected was for me to stay an annoying 5, 6, or 7-year-old my whole life, until my half-siblings gave in. That's such a sick burden to put on someone. Dude, you're better off going no contact with everyone in your immediate family. Sometimes your parents are only good for giving you life. I think about doing it. Not sure I'll follow through with complete no contact, but I know deep down it'd be better. Next story. Am I the a-hole for exposing my dad's secret family at a family reunion? So I, 23 female, recently found out that my dad, 55 male, has an entire other family that he's been hiding for years. He's still married to my mom, 53 female, and we always thought we were his only family. But a few months ago, I accidentally discovered that he has a wife and 2 kids in another city. He forgot to log out of his email on my laptop, and I saw way too much. School payments for the kids, photos, even messages referring to the other woman as his wife. I was shocked and decided to keep it to myself at first, trying to process it. Fast forward to last weekend, we had a big family reunion with all my dad's side of the family. Everything was normal until someone made a toast about how my parents were the perfect couple. I lost it. I stood up and, without thinking, said something like, "Yeah, perfect couple, except for the fact that Dad has a whole other family he's been hiding from all of us." Silence. Absolute silence. Then chaos. My mom went pale. My dad tried to laugh it off, but my uncle immediately started demanding answers. My mom started crying. My cousins were whispering, and my grandma looked like she was about to pass out. My dad dragged me outside and yelled at me, saying I ruined his life and humiliated him. He accused me of being selfish and airing out family business in public instead of talking to him privately. But I did try to process it privately. I just couldn't handle sitting there while people called my parents the perfect couple like nothing was wrong. Now the whole family is a mess. My mom is devastated, my dad is furious, and my relatives are in full drama mode. Some of my friends say I was right to expose him because he's a liar and a cheater. Others say I should have confronted him privately instead of blowing up the reunion. So, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the mini update. Not the a-hole. Your dad is committing bigamy and fraud. He deserves more than humiliation. He ruined his life by having multiple families. I mean, I can't even grasp that. I have one wife, 2 kids, and that's work and drama enough. I can't even imagine wasting time and money on 2 families. Exactly. How he has the audacity to blame you for being a crappy human is beyond me. He ought to be ashamed of himself. I don't blame you one bit, and you shouldn't either. Your father got exactly what he deserved. He's just angry that everyone else knows, instead of him maintaining his perfect family man and human image and having you live with the knowledge his sins. And don't for a second think he wouldn't have tried to emotionally blackmail you into keeping his secret had you confronted him privately. Screw him. I feel sad for everyone involved though, especially both the women involved with this sociopath. I can already tell you're going to get a lot of conflicting answers to this one, but I'm firmly saying not the a-hole. Everyone handles these things differently, and this was your way of handling it, where your reaction should be held in the same regard as everyone else's. You're a human being as well. To fault you due to your reaction, emphasis on reaction, would be insane. Everyone needs to hold space for everyone here, except for the perpetrator. He should be shamed. You brought accountability to the entire table that he can't even run away from if he tried. He could lie and gaslight, sure, but you have substantial evidence. Mini update. My mom left and is staying with my aunt. She told me she wished I had told her privately, but she blames him for everything. I apologized to her for bursting out in public. She is still in shock and barely speaking to me or anyone. She hasn't decided what she's going to do yet, but I know she's been talking to a lawyer. My dad is furious. He's been texting me nonstop, guilt-tripping and full-on raging. I don't have anything to say to him and blocked him for now. We contacted his other family, and apparently, they had no idea we existed either. It's pretty clear that everything is falling apart. I don't regret telling the truth, but I do feel like I did something that I can't take back. I never planned to say anything at the reunion. I just snapped. Maybe I should have handled it differently. I should have told my mom in private first. At this point, I don't think there's any coming back from this. My dad has been exposed. My mom is devastated, and I don't know if my family will ever feel whole again. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my stepmom's baby, even though I'm living in her house? Okay, so I, 18 female, just graduated high school and am taking a gap year before college. I live with my dad, 45 male, and my stepmom, 36 female, who just had a baby 3 months ago. I work part-time and contribute to my own expenses, but I don't pay rent or anything. Ever since the baby was born, my stepmom has been asking me to help out more, which has slowly turned into her just expecting me to babysit for free whenever she wants a break. At first, I didn't mind watching my half-sister here and there, but it's gotten ridiculous. She'll call me home from hanging out with my friends, wake me up early on my days off, or just hand me the baby without asking first. The other day, she left the house without telling me and left me alone with the baby. I had plans to go out, but I obviously couldn't just leave, so I was forced to stay home. When she got back, I told her she needed to ask me first and not assume I'll always be available. She got really upset and said, "You live here for free. The least you can do is help." I told her I never agreed to be a free babysitter just because I live here, and that if they wanted a full-time nanny, they should hire one. My dad took her side and said that since I'm part of the family, I should be helping more. I told them I'd start looking for other places to stay if they kept pushing this on me. Now they're both mad at me, and my dad says I'm being ungrateful. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit even though I live in their house rent-free? I get you live there rent-free, but that doesn't mean they need to treat you like a live-in babysitter. You have your own life too. She can't just rely on you to watch the baby whenever she needs a break. I don't mind helping out. It's just when she doesn't tell me. I have woken up to her crib in my room. That's outrageous. Knock on their bedroom door. Point out what keeps happening to your dad as it's happening. If she's waking up to you pounding on her door anyway, it becomes more trouble than it's worth. Maybe I also just feel bad for my baby sister. I don't really want to leave her in their care. I mean, she's willing to just leave her in my room while I'm sleeping and nobody else is home. Not the a-hole. The baby is theirs, not yours. Living rent-free doesn't mean you have to deal with a newborn constantly. The fact that your dad agrees with your stepmom is insane. If you can, I would suggest you to move. You aren't being ungrateful. You are only 18 yourself. You should enjoy life without having to deal with your step-sibling being left to you, especially if you haven't discussed it before. I've been saving up. I should be able to soon. I have a job, but with me taking care of this baby, I can't work as often.